Hey everybody, Manny Talavera here. I want to welcome you all back to the 17-day course creation challenge with Manny, Stacy, and Emily. We're now on day 11. And on day 11, I do want to talk to you a little bit more about systems and systemization and talk about what all of these components look like. You know, we talked a lot about systems in the last video, but now what I want you to think about, everything in terms of scaling the business. And what I want you to understand is that if you can scale to $1 million, um, once you scale to $1 million, everything gets much, much easier because what happens when you're scaling to $1 million, it's all about putting all of these systems in place. And like I said, some of you all are, you know, this is the thing. In the last video where we're talking about setting up systemization and everything, and when I tell you all, you want to have one event per month that's a marketing event that sells a back end thing. It doesn't have to be the same event. You don't have to do 12 5-day challenges. You can do a 5-day challenge month one. You can do a 2-day workshop month two. You can do a 1-day workshop month three. You can do a 2-day or 3-day masterclass month four. The key here is, like I said, you are going to change the content up because if you keep teaching the same content, you're not going to get as many people signing up for the event each month. Now, there are two ways we do this. We're going to get people to opt in for free, and we're going to also sell them an event to get them to opt in. But what you want to remember is that front end money, you're not keeping that much of that money. The majority of the money that you'll keep will be back end money that you make on the second, third, fourth, fifth sell, and so on. Now, the other thing is, if you can get scaled to $1 million, everything becomes much, much easier. You might not make a lot of profit from that first 7 figures, but what you will make is you'll make the marketing asset of building the list, and you'll also make the marketing asset of the systems that you will create. And so what we see a lot of in this space is it can take people a few years to get that first million. They get to the second million 6 or 8 months later, and they get to the third million 4 months later, and they get to the fifth million 2 months later, and eventually they're doing $1 million a month. And then you can ultimately get to where you're doing $1 million a day. And the reason for that is because all the time you're doing this, you're building the marketing assets, you're building the system, and you're also building the list. And as the list grows and the list gets bigger and bigger and bigger, it's just easier to make more money in less time. And so, you know, you can do a lot organically, but organic is slow. And so that's the reason that first million is going to be slower. But if you can start doing paid traffic, it makes everything much, much faster, and you can build that marketing list, and you can do really well. And so what I just want you all to think about when you're doing all of this, very slow to get that first million, and you're not going to make as much revenue from it. But once you do that, getting to that second, third, and fourth million will be faster, as long as you don't deviate or go off the rails and decide to do something different. If you use the same system that got you to the million, and keep improving it, you'll do really well. Now, this is the other thing I want to talk about here. If you can get to $1 million in revenue with the business that you're creating now, you can also make an additional $1 million teaching people how you made the first $1 million. And so once you make the $1 million, you can now go out and start teaching people the systems that you put in place and how you did it and all of that, and you create another revenue stream for yourself. And like I said, in some cases you can make $3 or $4 or $5 million just teaching people how you made the first $1 million. But we're going to end out this video, and what I want you to do, you can actually shoot a video here, or you can just type this one in, but I want you to do it at day 11 at the 17-day course creation challenge with Manny, Stacy, and Emily. And I want you to tell us who you would like to retire. Now, more than likely, most of you all who are in the space don't have any interest in retiring, but you probably want to retire someone else. So you want to retire a parent or your parents, or you want to retire an aunt, or you want to retire a brother or sister or a spouse. So who do you want to support so that they don't have to work so hard? And I want you to actually make a post. You can do that in the CCC group. You can do it in the networking group or the collaboration group. And then, like I said, you can shoot a video if you like, or you can just type this one in. But we appreciate you being here, and we will see you all on day 12. And thanks a lot.